So yeah, just a little update. Uh, Yesterday for my birthday, I wasn't really in that great of a mood. Just going through the motions. I'd like to thank everybody who took time for, to text me or whatever. Um, Say happy birthday, social media, all that. I'm thankful for the gifts. John, the one that he got me and stuff like that. Thanks again, man. Appreciate it. Just thankful for that, and yeah, just trying to make the best of this weekend. I was still a little bit under the weather to begin with, so I've been kind of just like working out, doing a little workout, just resting up, just relaxing, um just relaxing for a little bit and trying not to make myself feel guilty for like just this little bit of pause and play some video games. I got the new Tony Hawk game, which has been really fun. Just been messing around with that. I've been watching some surfing. Um, I got this really good. I got this really good. Kind of like almost like a. Kind of reminds me of Hawaii. Almost like a different type plate. Already ate half of it. It's from Royal Grill. Um, Royal 37. Royal Grill 37 in Tom's River, and it is amazing. And I've just been munching down on that, and yeah, just kind of taking it easy. Um, yeah, just having a little bit of downtime, and just been watching some like documentaries on like the. I was watching some documentaries on like the American Revolution. Um, what's that? And like castles and stuff. I just been watching stuff on castles, and yeah, just getting into some documentaries here and there, and yeah, just chilling, kicking back, and yeah, hopefully, get the stuff with my truck straightened out soon, and be on my way back to like normal cleaning the beach, getting back to my surfing, um, and whatever else, to still keep the training stays. And I mean, as far as like rescues and everything like that, I don't know. It's like one of those things like I'm a little apprehensive to go back to the spot where I was, you know, making all those saves a couple weeks ago. It's like it's one of those things where you just like you start thinking like, well, maybe if I'm going there, I'm creating all that mess. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, maybe I should stay away from it. Just put the word out and be like, yeah, if there's no lifeguards over there, just don't go near that spot. And yeah, if you're not comfortable with your swimming or you're not a really good swimmer, just stay away. Like, and yeah, because I've done all the work. I've did some research on it, and like, it's one of those things. Like when I hit the pull-up bar, it's like somebody's skill level. It's like you're not gonna get 10 pull-ups, And I look at someone's stroke, and I'm like, yeah, if that current picks up out there, like 99% of people that like most people who aren't swimmers are just going to get sucked out, and you're going to put your life at risk. Like a lot of people who aren't used to that kind of water, it's like swimming. It's like go jump in a roaring rapid and see how you fare, and it's like the same concept. Like you're not gonna make it without like unless you have maybe like a surfboard or something that you're familiar with, like a piece of equipment like that. Maybe you'll get through a little bit easier, but like yeah, just don't mess around over there where that rip current starts. And I think maybe in another week or so, what I've learned about that rip current is that, which might make it a little bit more dangerous when the lifeguards leave, is I noticed that there's a high tide in the morning, and it goes like this, and then there's like another high tide in the afternoon where it's much larger. So when the lifeguards leave, you're gonna hit that harder tide. Whereas if you were swimming in the morning and you hit that tidal change, it's not going to be the same pull. It's not going to be the same as what it was. And you can be like, oh, well, I went out this morning and I was fine. And it wasn't too bad. But, in the morning you had that little hump, and then it went back to low, and then it went back up to high again. And that's how the second tide is running. So you also, like, people don't even think about these kind of things when they're thinking of the tides. And the tides are always shifting. They shift 1 hour a day. So high tide at 12 at noon, like if dead high, the highest that the tide goes was at noon, then it's going to be 1 o'clock tomorrow, and then 2 o'clock, about 2 o'clock the day after, 3 o'clock, that peak of high tide. But what you have to worry about is the slopes. It's not really those extreme tides. It's when you're in the slope of the tides. When you're in those mid tides, it's probably when it gets most dangerous, especially when it's going from high tide, the highest tide, I believe, when it starts going to low tide, and you're in and you're in that middle slope there, because that's when all that water is trying to pull out towards, the ocean. And if you're not aware of those kind of things, it's like, and you don't map your tides and you just go out there with no knowledge, there's a good chance that eventually you're gonna have to be rescued. And people end up with like mental trauma from these things. Like they don't really, people don't really understand that this is something that actually happens a lot. So you're really gonna just want to pay attention to that stuff when you're swimming in the ocean, especially in a spot like where I was telling everybody to keep away. Like even on swells that aren't even that powerful, um, yeah, I've noticed a really hard pull, and the waves were like a foot the other day. So I can't even imagine what the pull would be like when we actually have waves out there, like real deal waves. So that's another scary thing to think about. And I know that there's been probably more than a few people that passed on in the specific spot that I'm talking about. Maybe a little bit of research. I know I'll be on top of it now, and I know, unfortunately, somebody's not going to listen to me, and that's probably what's going to happen. So, yeah, just going back to, the life saving aspects of what I'm trying to put out there in the world. That spot in between Seaside and Seaside Park. Like, I'm not telling you to go somewhere else. It's like one of those things. Like, it's like you're taking a risk by not swimming in front of lifeguards or when they're on duty anyway. And something like that, they could be like, well, Dan told me not to go here, and we went here and we got ripped out in the rib. I'm like, yeah, that's life. I'm just talking about a specific place where I know and I felt it, where I'm like, yeah, you're gonna feel something if you don't know anything about the ocean. So with that being said, enjoying just trying to enjoy the rest of my birthday weekend. Thank you for everyone who sent some love my way, money, whatever. I'm thankful for that. And yeah, just try to look forward to the future and hope that things get better.